In another political twist, yesterday, July 2nd, 2025, it was an historic moment for the opposition in Nigeria by coming together of political stakeholders to form a coalition movement. But yesterday, July 2nd, they made history by coming together to come into a political party, Africa Democratic Congress. Wow, that is the new bride in town. Now, let's dive into how coalition have come to be in Nigeria. Well, we have something called merger. There was a merger in 2013-2014, prior to the 2015 presidential, or let's say general election in Nigeria. In 2013, PDP was in power. There were different political parties in Nigeria. We have CPC, we have ACN, we have the AMPP, and we have the APGA. Now, some of the political stakeholders then in the opposition now look at the future. They came together. Okay, fine. To defeat the PDP, we cannot split our vote. We should come together as one to face the PDP, who was very much stronger as at that time. Now, they opened a discussion between each other. They were able to get the CPC bloc led by Muhammadu Buhari. They get the ANPP bloc led by Alimodu Sheriff and co. Get the ABGA side led by former governor of Imo State, Rocha Sokorocha. There were discussions. In 2014, the NPDP was formed. After they pull out from the PDP, they were led by Atiku Abubakar, Bukola Saraki, the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwa. A lot of PDP, they came together and formed NPDP, which they had their chairman in, I think that should be Alhaji Kawu Baraji from Kwara State. They formed the merger together, namely the political parties, AMPP, ACN, led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, CPC, led by Muhammadu Buhari, ABGA, led by forces from the former governor of Imo State, Rocha Sokorocha. They came together on a strong force to challenge the PDP in 2015 general election. The rest is history. They were able to win the election with the forces they put together. Now, let's dive into what happened yesterday, July 2nd. The APC came into power in 2015. They were able to retain the power in 2023 majorly due to the division between the opposition. In 2023 presidential election, we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the ballot as the APC presidential candidate. We have Peter Obi as the presidential candidate of Labour Party, with the strong forces of the obedience movement at his back. We have a pluralized PDP with Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa, as the presidential candidate. Now, to the result of the election. INEC, according to the INEC declared Tinubu won the election with over 8 million votes. Atiku came second with 8 million votes. With 6 million votes. Obi came third with 6 million votes. Another twist in the result. All the three leading candidates, from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Atiku Abubakar, and Obi, they both won 12 states. If you calculate the number of the opposition votes against the ruling party, the opposition would have won the election, assuming they join forces together to face the ruling party. Maybe, somehow, the leaders among them sat down and looked at this critical analysis. And they came up with the idea let's have a coalition. A coalition is different from a merger. A coalition is group of people, stakeholders in individual political parties coming together to form an alliance in a new party. Now, the forces, the powerful stakeholders behind the coalition, from the PDP side, we have Atiku Abubakar leading the charge. We have the current interim chairman of the ADC, Senator David Mark. We have the former governor of Cross River State, Lie Imoki. We have Senator Aminu Tambowa, the former governor of Sokoto State. Plenty heavyweight politicians, both in the south, in the north. They were from the PDP, are part of this coalition. Let's go to the Labour Party. We have Peter Obi. We have yesterday at the coalition declaration of ADC, Peter Obi came to that place with 6 Labour Party senators and some member of the House of Representatives. On the APC block, we have the CPC block. Virtually, let's say 60% of the CPC block in the APC join the coalition. We have the powerful Nasiru El-Rufai. Take it or leave it. Nasiru El-Rufai is a very controversial politician, but he has made his mark. He has his support base in the north. We have the former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, was there. A lot of the CPC guys, especially from the north, were part of the coalition yesterday. Now, we have other political parties, other stakeholders from other political parties, part of the coalition. Now, the arrowheads of the coalition. From the south. Okay, let's use, in geopolitical zone. We can see the coalition cut across all political zone of Nigeria. We have Rauf Aregbesola leading the charge from the southwest. We have Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, a former presidential candidate of Labour Party 2023 presidential election, leading the charge from the southeast. We have the former governor of Rivers State and former transportation minister during Buhari era, Chibuke Rotimi Amechi, leading the charge from the south-south. We also have Vice President Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri of Adamawa, leading the charge from the northeast. We have former Senate President David Mark, leading the charge from the north central. We have the former minister of FCT and former governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru El-Rufai, leading from the northwest. So, if you look at it critically well, the major stakeholders of this coalition cut across all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Now, coming together of the coalition, it was not a tea party. I believe before they can come together, a lot of concession would have happened between them. From what we are able to gather, from what people are saying on social media, the coming together of this coalition, according to Bolaji Abdullahi, the spokesperson of ADC, interim spokesperson, said on Channels Television last night that the coalition leaders have been in talks for the past 18 months. And that shows there were a lot of discussion underground. I believe the movement of El-Rufai from APC, decamping from APC to SDP, SDP now officially to ADC, it was a game. They all know where they are going to. The registration of Ada was another game, just to pull a surprise on the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Now, to the APC and to the president. The president should not underestimate the ADC. The president should stop listening to the politicians around them. He should stop listening to the Hallelujah boys around them. The ADC, from all indications, the way they are planning their games, they know who they are dealing with. They know how ruthless the president is. They know how desperate the president is. Mr. President, the coalition is building up. Work on the economy. Work on the insecurity. People are hungry. The flamboyancy in the presidency is too much. Cut it, sir. The ADC is a major force. Coming of ADC yesterday, July 2nd, was another twist in the political game in Nigeria, in political history of Nigeria. If ADC ends up to be a visible opposition, then they will give the APC the run for their money in 2027. Now, let me talk about the political structure. The reason why behind this coalition movement. Like in Osun State, for example, in 2023 presidential election, former Governor Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, scored a few number of votes in Osun State without any political structure on ground to monitor, to galvanize vote for him. But now, in this coalition, we have somebody like former Governor Rauf Aregbesola as the interim secretary of the party, and automatically becomes the leader of the party in Osun State. With his Omoluabi movement and with his street credibility, you cannot take that away from him. ADC can so guarantee of having over 25% votes in Osun State in 2027 presidential election. Though some region of the state have something about Rauf Aregbesola on how he ruled the state when he was the governor for 8 years. But you can't take the street credibility away from Rauf Aregbesola. After Governor Adeleke in this state, who is the present governor, all the former governors in this state, I think it is only Rauf Aregbesola that have the political clout anywhere in this state. And he still has a structure intact, which is going to be a very, 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 very advantage to the ADC in Osun State. Now, inroad to the north. Nasir El-Rufai is a very controversial politician, but somehow you can't take away his own also street credibility within the north in Nigeria. Now, Buhari is now a retired president. Somehow, from what I can able to gather, some of the Buhari loyalists are already working with Nasir El-Rufai. That is what we call a structure that can be an advantage to a political party. I repeat, like I said earlier, the president should not underestimate the ADC. They know him in and out already. The president have been busy for the past 2 years with politicking. It's high time the president face the real governance and listen to people. Now, the internal problems within the ADC. Yesterday, July 2nd, there was another twist again. The presidential candidate of ADC in the last presidential election, Dumebi Kachuku, came up on national television accusing the stakeholders in the coalition hijacking the ADC. I don't know. I don't know why it was not carried along in all the discussion. But I believe the former national chairman, the owner of the founder of the party, Raphael Nwosu, may have seen what we are not saying about Dumebi. Maybe they thought it's a sellout. That's why they didn't involve him at all in the discussion. In my own point of view, the mandate given to Dumebi Kachukwu ended immediately INEC declared Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the elected president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So with the present agreement within the coalition movement and ADC, the national chairman of the party, Raphael Nwosu, the secretary of the party, all the state chairman and everybody have already stepped down for new executive to come in on interim basis, building towards their national convention. So in my own point of view, I don't see any really internal crisis, internal dispute within the ADC. And I can see that ADC have come to stay. Nigerians, it's now left for Nigerians to determine their fate between the APC and the ADC in the next presidential and general election. Now, the dynamics, another twist, to choose their candidates. Don't forget, it's a coalition. It is not a merger. We have, I don't know, a serial presidential, what do I call it, contestant in Atiku Abubakar in one side, which play a major role in this coalition movement. We have another giant bride, Mr. Peter Obi from the Labour Party, that even declared recently on a X space that is going to contest for 2027 presidential election. Even went ahead to submit a 4-year plan, single term, to the coalition stakeholders as his own way to push his agenda to become the president. So far, so good. I don't want to be talking on Amechi, Rufai. We know their stand right now. But I can tell you, the presidential ticket of ADC is between Mr. Peter Obi from the south and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar from the north. Another bride, though we are told he's not interested for now, who have been a very bigger bride, assuming he showed interest, was Goodluck Jonathan. But for now, we don't see Goodluck Jonathan in the picture. So we are left with two heavyweights. Let's talk about on the South sentiment. In 2023 presidential election, build up, there was a clamor for the power to shift to the South, which the APC followed to the letter. There was issue in the PDP, give birth to Obi. Obi with his obedient forces were able to gather 6 million votes without no reasonable political structure. We have Obi have the obedient army at his back. You can't take it away from those people. They are formidable. Even before the ADC came to being, on social media, on any media outlet, it was the obedient movement that were playing the major role as opposition, because the PDP was nowhere to be found. I'm sorry for PDP. That's another discussion for another day. Going forward, how do they want to navigate it with the South sentiment at the favor of Obi? Will the stakeholders in the North that also have their own eyes on 2021, on 2031 presidential election coming back to the North, will they key in to Obi 4 years plan? Nasir El-Rufai may say he doesn't have any ambition now, but who knows of what will happen in 2031? It's an advantage to him. Imagine we have the coalition. I believe within the coalition there may be consensus. They may not be a real primary. They will just adopt their candidate at the primary after the consensus. But if, let's say, we have Obi as presidential candidate of ADC versus Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC, I don't know what can happen, but it's going to be an interesting election. It's going to be tough. Obi, I'm seeing, for Obi to come into the coalition, Obi also is ready to play dirty. Tinubu, as a president, is not a person that you that you want to fight a battle with, and you are not going to fight dirty. That's why I always tell the obedience movement, remove all this noise of a Saint Toga. You people are shouting. This is Nigeria. You have Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a president. He's a general. He's a civilian general. He knows everything about election. All he knows is winning. You need all the arsenal, all the debt, all the baggage to win this election. Even if you can have Buhari to your side, I don't see what's stopping you from not having Buhari to your side, despite the fact that Buhari also have his own baggage. Because Tinubu will do anything. He's desperate for a second term. It is right to have a second term. Nigerians, the masses, will decide that. He has the political structure. He has the deep pocket. He has the military. He has the police. But I believe if the opposition can get their rights together with a good candidate, a sellable candidate, and all the stakeholders ready to work with that candidate, maybe we'll see a surprise in 2027. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is also a formidable candidate. What I can say that I can work against his candidacy is the sentiment of the South have to finish their 4 years. But if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar can win the primary, and maybe they get Obi to be his vice president, though I can bet it, some obedient will be hungry. Some of his hardcore supporters, they want the presidency like any other thing. They may step aside from the election, but anything can still happen in that election. You see, that no matter what, Obi with any other northern candidate, any other strong politician on the ballot, Atiku with Obi left. Well, my own point of view, those two tickets are still okay. This election is between the masses and the politicians. There are a lot of factors that will come to play in 2027 presidential election build-up and towards the election day. Like I said, I'll say it for the third time. The ruling party, the president especially, should not underestimate the opposition, especially ADC. The momentum is gathering every minute, every second. We all saw the social media something yesterday, the noise everywhere. The president should look at the north. The numbers are not encouraging at the north. The numbers are not encouraging at the north. And if you go by the 2023 presidential election, the north gave the president that ticket to enter Aso Rock, especially the northwest. Maybe that's why the president is thinking of bringing in another politician from the northwest to back him as the vice president. We don't know, but I believe the president is also playing his game. So we'll see. Now, on the coalition movement, I think it's high time for the coalition movement to make a push. It should be part of the agenda going forward for the Electoral Act. There are some things to be included in our Electoral Act. For example, on the issue of IREF, the IREF is not in the Constitution. The IRF is just an INEC regulations or whatever. They need to push for some things to be added to the Electoral Act so that we can have a very smooth and acceptable election in 2027. Now, the question is this. Imagine the ADC. ADC is the major left. In my own point of view, what we have right now, the only visible opposition party we have in this country is the ADC. PDP, Labour Party, all of those, I don't know. They should go and solve their internal problems. But if the ADC with some what they call it, non-governmental organization, civil society organization, can come together and push for some new innovations in the Electoral Act, go to the National Assembly, and it was passed. Will this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, put his signature on the new Electoral Act that may favor him or may not favor him? That's a question.